Welcome to the Soulish Podcast. My name is Whitney Apke and I'm your host. On the Soulish Podcast, we talk about the soul journey and the ish of the soul. On this episode, we are talking about how to balance your energetic body. What are some tools and techniques and understanding energy healing and all of that it encompasses. And I have about 12 tips for you as to techniques, ways, tools, things that you can use to help balance your energetic body, because I do believe that we are all connected. We're body, soul, and spirit, or energy, and it is all connected. And I think that we can manifest from all three places, but the majority of where we manifest from is our soul and our spirit, and that manifests in the physical realm. And so that is my idea of it anyway. And I think as I've kind of learned more about spirituality, more about energy healing, more about all of these modalities and different things. These are my top 12 tricks and tools and techniques of how I have found myself being balanced in a new way. Because in Christianity, it was prayer, which really is meditation. I would also speak in light language, which in Christianity we call it tongues. And honestly, I would just turn on worship music, which I still do today. And I think that that's really helpful. So I have a few things that I've learned and gleaned from, and I want to share them with you in hopes that it encourages you, inspires you, and helps you on your soul journey. So here we go. So number one tool that I recommend is meditation. Meditation is the easiest way to connect with all parts of ourselves, and it really doesn't need much explanation from there. If you're here, you know what meditation is. And I also think it's really important to not pigeonhole ourselves and say it's a specific type of meditation is better than another. Point blank, if you are connecting, that's the perfect type of meditation for you. I think we can always want to go deeper and dive into more transcendental meditation, and even then get into breath work. But honestly, sitting in silence is maybe one of the strongest, always comes through for me tools that I use when I feel overwhelmed, when something has happened that has upset me and taken me out of my equilibrium, out of my peace, out of my joy. When something happens that really throws a wrench into life, sitting in silence honestly is the best way to work through the emotions for me, the thoughts that are coming up, and just witnessing them and observing really what's going on inside of you. So meditation is number one. I think this is the first place to go if you're spiritually curious and you haven't really done a whole lot of spiritual seeking yet. You're new to your journey. Welcome. Meditation is very simple. And when I first kind of got into Christianity, out of Christianity into spirituality, I was kind of now what? What does this look like? I guess meditate. Okay, what does meditate mean? I was okay, let me buy the pillow. Let me find the YouTube playlist of, meditation music. And I was okay. And I think I hold my fingers like this, kind of next to my lap, and we'll just do this. And I think this is meditating. And I quickly learned that meditating is what I was always doing before. I can try a different way if I want, but really it's the same. And honestly, it's just connecting with self, all parts of yourself, body, soul, spirit. My second tool that I use is yoga. Yoga is amazing because it uses body movement as well as meditative practices to help you connect and move energy. And really, honestly, I've found that any movement of any kind, a walk, a run, the gym, whatever it is, body movement really does help you to move energy within the body, literally, physically. But I find that mindful movement really helps you move energy on all three spectrums, your body, soul, and spirit, or energy body. So yoga is a great practice to take on because you're so mindful with how your body feels in that movement, in that flow, in the transition between poses. you're so present with yourself that it really helps to ground you into your energy, really helps you to shift your energy and refocus. If your mind is kind of everywhere, it helps you to focus on one thing. And I know for me, I can be super scatterbrained, especially if I have a lot of things going on or I'm super, super stressed out. I'm thinking of all the logistics, all the details, all the things. And sometimes that energetically creates like this anxiousness, this fear, this anticipation of something going wrong, instead of coming from a like solid, grounded place of like, okay, this may be chaotic, but I can be the pillar in the storm. I don't have to be moving at that pace. I can move at this pace, and that is going to blow on by, and I'm going to remain. And so I think that really helps. My third tip is Reiki. Now, Reiki is something that I came into 3 years into my spiritual journey, and I was kind of taken aback by my Reiki course when we opened with Reiki was founded by a Japanese Christian pastor. And I was like, say what? Like, I was like, what? This is crazy. I did not know that Reiki was like Christian pastor based. Hey, my people, in Japan, they know what they're doing. So when I realized that, it actually helped me to not be so afraid of like energy healing, because I came from a religious background, and to understand that this was like an awakening from someone that truly had such an insane heart for people, and his people were dying and sick and had ailments and were suffering, and they came to him and asked him the question, why is it that you teach us on Sundays about what miracles Jesus did or the apostles or disciples did, and yet we're not seeing it that at all, like here? Like, that is like a story that you're telling of the past, but yet we have the same face. So why aren't we seeing it? And he honestly couldn't answer it. So he went on a 21-day fast, and he used rocks, and he would throw a rock in the river for the 21 days to mark the days. And he just was pure water fast, like river water fast, hardcore. And he was like begging and meditating and asking and pleading on behalf of his people, to ask God, like, can you give me the revelation? Like, why aren't miracles happening? Why aren't people being healed in this day? Like, I know that you used to do this and you're the same God. So why isn't this happening in my life? And why am I unable to pray for the sick and they shall be healed? Just this is a discrepancy here. And he didn't get an answer. And as he came down the mountain, he basically saw this light out in the distance. And as he kind of like looked at it and focused on it, he realized, oh my God, that's like moving. That's like moving to me. That's like moving towards me. So right before it hit him, he ducked. I think he jumped, and I believe he didn't jump in time. It hit him, and he was hit with this revelation of understanding of miracles and healing. And that's when he saw the Reiki symbols. He understood the energy healing. He understood all the things. And so he began to teach it. And that's how we have come to know Reiki, as it was brought over to the US after such a time. And Reiki simply means, it's the same word as chi, just in Japanese. Chi in Chinese or Mandarin and Reiki in Japanese are the same thing. It's life force energy. There is no such thing as negative Reiki, like negative energy, how we throw that around. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as negative Reiki or negative chi. It's all positive life force energy. So when I realized that, I was like, wait, so this is like the same thing as when I grew up. I would, either lay my hands on someone or I would extend my hands towards someone, and I would be sending the intention of healing, and I would be praying that in, like using my authority in Jesus Christ at the time as my belief that this person can be healed because Jesus died on the cross for this to be healed. And that was my understanding. Now I kind of have a little bit more of a broader understanding, and especially after reading the gospel, the Essene Gospel of Peace, and understanding that Jesus was an Essene, and the Essenes believed, they were really the mystics of the day, um, and they understood like more around the authority of just being spirit beings, and that they have authority just purely in that, and that the body comes under the authority of the spirit. And so with that, I just realized like, oh, see, I'm using Jesus as my authority because that's my understanding, but really I can use the same authority that Jesus used, which was the understanding that we are all gods. You know, we are all spirit beings having a temporary human experience, and therefore we can call the unseen, the unnatural, the not earth realm, we can call the supernatural into the natural, and we have authority to do that because we are transient beings. We are spirit beings having a temporary human physical earthly experience. And so with that understanding, we can call things in that are not. And so Reiki is simply just honestly energy healing practice that involves usually a practitioner channeling the energy, but anyone can do self Reiki. It really, honestly, I don't even think you need to go through Reiki level 1. You can, just to get the history on it, because it's really cool. But all it is, honestly, is simply you putting your hands. I like to put my hands, and I teach all my clients this, on my heart, right hand on heart, left hand on like solar plexus, my intuition, my gut, which is right above your belly button. And I like to take a couple deep breaths in and just send that life force energy, whatever that is to you, sending that into the body, and the intention of healing and connectedness and oneness. That's all you send yourself, is just love and connection, and boom. That right there is going to help you a whole lot in your energy. My fourth is acupuncture and acupressure. It's really cool because this is a tradition that came from Chinese medicine, and it's a technique involving stimulating specific points in the body to balance the flow of energy, because we actually have meridians, energetic meridians, all throughout our body. And we actually have like a circulatory system. We have circuits in the body. We are electric and we conduct energy, which is really cool. So when you do this, a lot of the times manipulating or reconnecting and reinitiating a flow in the physical body can affect you energetically, because we're all connected. So if you are like, I have a total aversion to needles, but acupressure has been huge. Even like the little ear seeds, man, I tried those once, and that was huge. That was like, that I felt totally recalibrated. But there's a lot of places that you can press in your body, in your hands, along these meridian lines, that can help like recenter you and help you rechannel, redirect your energy. So it would be really cool to look that up for yourself, and or try acupuncture, try acupressure. Those are really cool modalities of healing that can help you rebalance your energy body. The other thing that's been really cool to like discover, and I've even sat in so many, like, maybe I say so many, but like five, at least five sound therapy or sound healing, singing bowl therapy, or they have like different instruments that look really cool, and they like some of them you like spin around and they make this kind of really cool noise. But I think sound worship music, music for sure, like any, I pretty much always have some sort of like frequency music in my home, just going throughout the whole day. It really helps like cleanse the environment. And as I'm kind of going through different like ups and downs in my workday, I just find like as soon as I feel stress, I'll like hear the tone, and it'll help bring me down and go, I got this, I got this. Like, we got this. We can focus. We got this. So I think sound therapy, just even like being really aware of the music you're listening to, the sounds you're listening to, TV, are you listening to mainstream media? Turn that shit off. Like that, even if they're talking, there's a frequency to that. There's an energy to that that is super like vibes. So like, don't do mainstream media. Like, if you gotta like, read it, sure, okay, do that. But like, no, like really watch what you have on and what you're watching, and even the shows and stuff. Watch the energy, feel into the energy of what you're watching and listening to, because sometimes it's not even like bad, or like obvi, but you can like feel a vibe on it. And I'm quick to like just switch it or turn it off. If I feel like a vibe, I'm switching it off or turning it to something else. It could be something as easy as Bridgerton or Emily in Paris or, some sort of Kardashians or like whatever reality TV show. It could be, Love Island. These are none that I watch, of course. JK, I do watch them on occasion. But yeah, I think it's really important to like watch that. Even something as easy as like Survivor, it could be the episode, it could be the vibe, and it's just not resonating with you. It's not worth it. Not worth it to bring down your energy and the vibe. So, number 6 is crystals and gemstones. Now, I was really hesitant at the beginning. It honestly took me a few years getting into this to even want to go to a crystal shop, because I just felt so new agey, so witchy, and I was really still like very much wrestling with things. But as soon as I walked in, my first time experience was just feeling like so peaceful and so calm. And I realized if God made these things, they can't be that bad. It's like if God made this and this is of earth, like how bad can crystals and gemstones be? And I just kind of was like, if everything is energy and everything has a frequency, like there's going to be, the earth, anything from earth is going to have a really positive vibe. It's going to be supportive to me. So, okay. But I knew kind of like this is very much in the industry, like, whatever. But when I walked in, the lady told me, she was like, no pressure at all. Like you can totally just observe and look and see. She's like, but let me tell you, you might see a stone and you might feel this like total pull towards it. And she was like, you won't understand it, but you'll just feel this kind of like, ooh, like look at that. She's like, that's how you know that crystal is calling out to you. It resonates with you and it's here to support you if you want to take it home. I was like, easy way to sell me, lady. And sure enough, my first my first crystal ever was a peacock gemstone, and it's like these multicolors. It's very grounding. It has gold flecks in it, and I just was like, oh, that's so pretty. And it was very small. It was like, I don't even know, like it was like any rock you see size, just very small. And I was like, I really feel called to this. Then I ended up getting a rose quartz, a clear quartz, and obsidian. And those are kind of like my staples. They are next to my bedside. And those are the ones that I kind of am around the most. They're my home staple crystals that never leave. And those I just feel like are kind of like they always feel kind of a bit like my guiding posts. Like negative energy can be absorbed and expelled, and clear quartz really reminds me of like this is my grounding force, this is my home. Rose quartz always just reminds me to be in that love frequency, so it's just a great reminder even looking at it, but I know that they influence the energy around me. And then you guys know that I got into yoni eggs a while back, and so I have two of those, and I've gifted like two others to friends, but those I was like really skeptical. I was like, okay, what's the difference between like, holding a crystal in your hand and sticking it up your yoni? Like, what's the difference? But when I tried it, I was like, I get it. I understand. So you can go check that episode out if you want more details on that. But for the male audiences, we'll skip that. Number 7 is grounding. Grounding can happen in so many different ways, and it doesn't always have to be bare feet on ground, and on ground that is away from like you want to get in nature and like then put your feet on the ground. If you do it in your backyard, that's fine. If you're kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but if you're around the city, there's pipes, there's all sorts of things. It's really hard to discharge your energy when you have pipes and electrical all running behind, underground your backyard and around your house. But if you can get out into nature, get out on a trail, and then like find a place to take off your shoes and just step on the dirt, the grass, wherever you can. I also love to get my feet into the river, and really have like those negative ions kind of rushing around me and through me. I feel really impacted by that. But grounding can be, a lot of people, there's grounding mats, grounding bed sheets, there's all sorts of stuff that, tools that we can use, but you can use the free version, which is very good. And I like to do it once a day minimum, because we're around technology right, all the time, and Wi-Fi in your house, plus you have all your, your microwave, your fridge. I didn't even know your refrigerator can be like one of the biggest EMF like radiations in your apartment or home. Had no clue until a friend of mine had a reader and went up to the fridge, and I was like, it says what? I think it was like in the 400s, 500s. Um, that was shocking. So it's really important, like as we're accumulating, because your body will accumulate, right? That frequency kind of hits you, and your body, because it's flesh, um, it absorbs it. Same as a crystal absorbs energy, or anything absorbs energy, it absorbs it. So it's really good to discharge. And it's really cool to watch videos where people have EMF readers and they will go barefoot. They'll, as soon as they step onto the ground, you can see that as they're pointing it at themselves, and they have like, 100 or 200 or whatever, like, on them, they have a ton of EMF in their system. As soon as they get bare feet on the ground, it like goes negative and goes to zero. It like literally discharges the energy. It's crazy, the energy exchange that happens. So really, really important to ground. I think this is one way, especially if you're feeling like really unbalanced and you're feeling very, very, very negative, or like even brain fog, just getting out in nature, touching trees. Like in the 70s, they picked up on something, and that was being a tree hugger. Why? Because trees are a total conduit. They are transmuters in real time, and trees love the opportunity to not just create more oxygen, but they love shifting your energy. So I've actually spent many a times like leaning up against a tree, and Winston gets to do his sniffs, and I'm leaning up against the tree, and I'm just thanking it for helping me and supporting me, not just by giving me oxygen, but shifting my energy. And I've actually had a couple conversations, not gonna lie, don't call me crazy, but I've had a couple like moments where I've sat under a tree or leaned up against a tree when I was like really suffering with sadness, or I was really stressed out. And I just felt this like reciprocal, like kind of flow of energy. And when I became aware of that, I was like, oh my gosh, are you helping me right now? Because I totally feel better. And I just heard, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you. I've been waiting for this. It was like so sweet. And for like last year, like around the fall, man, maybe it was like towards the end of summer, I had so many different conversations with trees. I also got like a major like sore on my foot because I wore new shoes, and I wore them without socks because I'm a no sock person. And I totally, like, they were these new sneaks, and they were rubbing the back of my foot really bad. And I kept passing these poplar trees that we have here along the trail, and every single one I was passing was like, take a leaf. And I was like, no, 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 I don't want to take a leaf. Like that's like how you like feed yourself, sunlight, come on. I had biology class, in high school, and they're like, please take a leaf. And every single one I passed, please take a leaf. And I'm like, and they would even give me the image of how I would apply it. And I was like, okay, I finally got to one of the last trees, and I heard it, please take a leaf. It was like kind of like, please, like we're asking you to take a leaf, like, woman. And I'm like, okay, all right, well, I don't want to pull the leaf off. So I will touch the leaf like so. And if you release it, then I'll feel better. Okay. Like I don't want to like rip a leaf off. Like if you want to give me a leaf, then give it to me, right? I'm not ripping it. I don't know. I was like, I feel wrong about that for such a stupid thing like this. And they showed me the image of which side to put onto my skin side, and then the side that would be like towards my shoe. And it was insane. I did it exactly like the leaf literally popped off. I was like, okay. And then I applied it, and it was like as soon as I applied the side that they showed me to do, it literally like it adhered to my heel like a band-aid, just as sticky. Man, and that other side was like so slippery. And so I walked home like totally fine. And I was like, why didn't I take the leaf when they told me, when they were first telling me to take the damn leaf? Like I should have done it then, because oh my God, the blister was huge. But that helped me get home like pain-free. I was almost about to just walk barefoot. Anyway, so grounding is so cool, and connecting in. And I really think that nature is totally here to support us in so many ways, and I tend to feel guilty that like I'm surrounding myself by all these things, and then I'm like asking nature to take one for me, you know. And so I often like come to nature feeling like, you mind helping me? Like, I'm sorry that I've like totally inundated myself with Wi-Fi and EMF and all the things. But it's like every time that I kind of come in with this, like, I respect you and I honor you and I thank you. I'm so grateful for you. And I want to connect with you more. And I want to have this reciprocation. What do you need from me? Um, the more I feel connected, but also the cooler the conversations are, because you start to hear Earth speak to you, Mother Earth. You get to hear it from the birds, you get to hear it from the squirrels. Today I ended up breaking up a fight with like six squirrels in my tree outside my apartment, and they were all males. I got to see their little balls, and I was like, oh, y'all are males and it's springtime. I got it. So, but I was like, you guys, seriously. And one squirrel like dropped out of the tree, and I was like, enough. This is now, no. No squirrels are dying here. You guys go. And they like all like ran off into the field. So like I just feel like there's this reciprocal energy of like taking care of each other. And the more you have that, I feel like the more grounding becomes such like a not a ritual that you do because you have to, it's because you want to, if that makes sense. Okay. Number 8, aromatherapy. Now, this has been super cool because once I got into incense, I always thought it was kind of like lame. But once I started getting into incense and I realized I like candles, and candles really add like a depth to my space. So I realized it can't be much different with incense. It's just that incense is blessed usually, if you get the blessed kind. But like it also is made differently, and there's just a different kind of intention with it. And so I realized like, oh, this can be really beneficial as I'm like, going through this and trying to, adjust the energy in my home. I can do that simply by lighting a candle, lighting some incense, lighting aromatherapy, having a diffuser on. And that's something that like something really special for me in the wintertime is I will boil cinnamon sticks. I grew up with my mom doing it. My mom grew up with her mom doing it, and likewise and likewise and likewise. So it's been passed down a long time. And cinnamon just fills the space, and you're hydrating the space, which is great, especially for Colorado winters. We're dry here, but it smells beautiful, and it is something that is so warming, but it also cleanses the air of any kind of toxins or anything like that, any viruses in the air, so any pathogens. It also cleanses the air, and so that's really, really helpful. But I love like any kind of addition to your environment, having all senses brought into helping you and supporting your energy and balancing you out, bringing you in more mindful into the present is going to help. So aromatherapy is great for that. Number 9, healthy diet and hydration. This is huge. We are, 75, 80% water. It is so important what you drink. And so I know like, a lot of us like to go out and party or have alcohol or drink energy drinks or Coke or whatever, but you have to understand like you are made up of water, and you need water in order to survive. Like you could live without food for days, but water, no. Like you don't drink water, you're in real trouble. Like dehydration is a real problem. So I like to, I definitely like to go out and enjoy like a nice beverage every now and again, but I am always making sure that I'm hydrated, and the foods that I eat, I make sure are very hydrating. I know my brother has been getting into this, and so I then started researching this, and I'm on a whole program right now for detoxing and all of that. So it's a little bit different. But the Essene Gospel of Peace actually lays out a really cool diet that is definitely vegan or veg. But it is all about like that life force energy. And so I'm always thinking, not like this is good, this is bad. I'm always thinking, where is this on the life force energy scale? Because if I'm feeling dehydrated, I'm not going to eat something or drink something that takes me further down, into dehydration and malnutrition really. So if I'm feeling, brain foggy, or if I'm feeling low on energy, I'm going to eat high vibe, high life force energy foods, right? Cucumbers, vegetables, berries, watermelon, any melon. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to, really stick with that and try to eat as high on the life force energy as possible, because anything that is dead is low on the life force energy scale, right? But anything that is currently alive is a fruit of a plant, that is going to give you the highest vibe and the highest energy. Number 10 is breath work. Breath work is something that I kind of want to just do a caution on, only because every nervous system is different. And if your nervous system is really, really high and you're in this fight or flight kind of state, breath work may not be for you. So I'd like to just use that disclaimer. I did not know that. And I have had not so great moments with breath work, especially like fire breathing, anything that's pretty intense around holotropic breathing, which I've done and I've had great experiences. And then there's been times where I've done it at home and I've had like the most insanely awful experience, and it literally like threw my whole body off and my whole mind and everything off, and it was because my nervous system was at a high state of stress and fight or flight. And so if that's the case, breath work is not for you in the intense forms of breath work where you're really like getting, nootropic or holotropic and fire breathing and you're really like activating. That may not be for you, but box breathing is great. I use that a lot for sessions. Box breathing really helps kind of bring in a regulation because you're, breathing in for 8, holding for 4, exhaling for 8. And you could just do 5, 5, 5. You could do 4, 4, 4, wherever you are at in breath work, in breathing in, hold, breathe out, hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. So you're holding at the bottom, you're holding at the top, and you can build up your endurance for that. But box breathing is more of a regulatory breath work practice. And so I typically don't go above 8. And breathing in for 8, holding in for 8, exhaling for 8, holding at the bottom for 8. That's kind of the max that I do myself and with clients, because it's not meant to be this intense. Like how long can you suck in air? How long can you blow out? How long can you hold it? It's more of like regulating the system. It's not one size fits all, and so you just really need to make sure where you're at. So if you try like holotropic breathing and it's definitely you're feeling not so great, pause, stop, don't breathe through it. Just pause, take a breath, take a slow breath in, slow breath out, and just release and let it flow and kind of see, where do I feel? Do I feel like continuing, or do I feel like this is enough, this is good? And then you can kind of go from there. Number 11 is visualization and affirmations. Now, in neurolinguistic, reprogramming and all of that, um, the key phrase that they say is that you cannot affirm your way into a manifestation. You cannot consciously manifest. Manifesting comes from the subconscious, the unconscious realm, not the conscious realm. So, but I think that affirmations are more of a energetic shifting and a mindfulness practice of what you're focusing on and what you're calling in. But I think doing both is really great. Working with the subconscious as well as the conscious, or the unconscious with the conscious, however you see it, is really, really great. And also visualizing is really great. But there's follow-up steps to that. And To Be Magnetic is a great program that I'm in right now. I'm a member. I love To Be Magnetic. They're amazing. And they really teach you how to work with your subconscious and unconsciousness and bringing things into your current place of being, whatever that is, whatever physical manifestation you're looking to manifest in your life. They basically help you build your way to that. So it's amazing. Number 12, and the final one, is energy clearing techniques. Now, I love using sage. I love using Palo Santo. I love also just simply using my hands, and kind of like with Reiki, just simply using this as a tool to kind of wipe energy away. I've witnessed people get kind of like really interesting, and other energy or Reiki practitioners, energy healing, clearing people, that do practices and stuff like that and help people clear energy. And they'll burp, they'll fart, they'll cough, they'll do all sorts of different things. I personally have never been that type of person. But I will sing over people. I will make sounds like over people, and I don't do it like every single person that I do things with, I do it every single time. I really listen to what the person needs in order for them to be supported in shifting their energy. And I don't have like a specific technique that I use for everyone. I kind of just do whatever I feel called to. So, like the other day, I was giving my sister in law a scalp massage and kind of like Reiki session. I really felt like that would just be really helpful to like release any tension. So it was like kind of in the neck and the shoulders and the head. And I just began also singing over her and in light language. And it was just beautiful and just helping and supporting her energy. And I love doing anything that is helpful and supportive for that person, because ultimately, when we're shifting energy, everyone is different, everyone is unique, and some people come from more of a religious or fundamental background, and to be farting or coughing or sneezing or anything in order to shift energy might be a little much for them. Singing in a language that is foreign may be too much for them. And so I really like to meet people where they're at. And I think you should do the same for yourself. I do it for me. I'm very specific on what I need. And that is supportive and helpful for me every time that I honor where I'm at and what I need. And so I think that's really important. Out of everything that you could ever do, out of any of these tools or techniques, the best thing you can do is really connect in with where you're at and what you're feeling, and ask yourself, what do I need right now? Do I need gym time? Do I need a sauna? Do I need a massage? Do I need to sit in silence? Do I need a nature walk? What do I need? Do I need to light a candle? Do I need to throw up some meditative music that's really calming and really awesome? Do I need to go to bed early tonight and give myself more rest, or hydrate, or eat better, eat soup versus a salad? Like, it could be something as simple as that, as to what is supportive for you in clearing your energy and grounding and really balancing your energy body. So we're all encompassing, right? And we are connected in all ways, body, soul, spirit. So it really matters. And you can use one of these techniques, all of these techniques. You can try them and see which ones you kind of gravitate to, which ones are most supportive for you right now, and just have these in your back pocket. I'll definitely list them in the show notes below so that you have that with like a little description for you, so that you can just use them as reference for this episode. I love you guys so much. This was fun. I hope to see you guys soon again. Much love.